Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Just Go Watch podcast. This week, Deej, MP, and myself, Hatchaplan, are back with a big review for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Da-na-na-na-na. Da-la-la-na-na. Da-la-la-na-na. Da-na. Why is it special? Tell them why it's special.
Oh, let me tell you. So, oh my God, I'm so excited. This is an extra special episode because not only are we coming in your ears hard and fast, but we are also coming into your eyeballs with acidic
Wait,
spray. Because this is the very first episode that is going to also be launching on the YouTube.
How
I think the kids
about
call it.
that?
Yeah, so
YouTube, man.
Yeah,
Another-
if you've not
Like,
been,
share, subscribe. Do it.
yes,
Do it
we
now.
can say that. We can say that now.
Yes, we can.
So previously, if you've been just sort of listening to us, obviously you had no visual medium apart from a little bit of artwork from Deej here. But we have actually been using a format which does record some sort of visual modem.
I mean, they don't care about.
Sorry?
No,
not-
I'm
I'm just so
Jesus
excited.
Christ.
I want you to know everything. Let me tell you too. You've got banners, you've got themes, you've got
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
Um,
Well, I'll be back in 15 minutes when Hank
Yeah,
is done with all
Yeah.
this shit.
What a stinking launch of our YouTube channel, isn't it? Like it's
Man.
down the drain before it's even begun. People are like,
I will
fucking hell,
now
what is
take
this?
you through the tutorial for how to upload onto YouTube. So yeah, if you are actually watching this on YouTube and you've never heard of us before, welcome, new viewer. Please subscribe to us, listen to us, like and all that kind of stuff. Dislike,
All that
fuck
stuff.
it, do it.
Leave comments. We
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah. Does that be aggressive in your either your like or your hate? Either way, like I support it. I support
Don't
your
sit on the
right
fence.
to be
Yeah.
really horribly abusive in the same way as I support your right to be nice. Innit?
Careful.
And you never know,
Alright.
you might be nice and we might hit you with abuse. You just don't know. So
Don't
you better
know.
just be honest with what you're saying.
That would
innit?
be great for you.
Yeah.
To be hit with our abuse. That's such a rare thing. But yeah, so I mean, it's also just exciting because it's a big movie we're doing this week.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't
Ah.
think we've had too many of them.
I've been
Like,
so excited for this film, man, because there's just been some shit recent. I just feel like this year's been just a really dreadful year for movies so far,
Yeah,
man.
it
Like,
has
been a
been.
couple of right ones, but just loads of shit, man.
Yeah.
Loads of shit, boring
I'm-
stuff.
A lot
I'm
of
trying to think.
average movies.
Have we given out any 8s at all this year for a new film? I'm going back.
June 2, I think.
Maybe June.
Oh,
yeah,
June, yeah.
That
was
did
a
do-
banger. June
That
was a
did
banger.
that was good. Everything else I'm seeing is fucking maybe the odd 7. Everything else is under that, like a 6.5. Just so
5,
so fucking meh. Oh, but does it live up to the hype, eh? So Deadpool and Wolverine, directed by Sean Levy, with a runtime of 128 minutes, with a budget of
Man, it's fucking difficult, isn't it? Because what was that film we had the other day? It was like 150 million. It was like, it was shit.
Was it
Oh,
Twisted?
shit. No. It was one where Hachi was here. It was like 150 million. I was like, what? This can't be
Oh,
150 million.
And that's
Fucking
only
on
like
what?
3 movies so far.
This is a Marvel one. So this is Marvel. I don't know. I tend to think Marvel. Those Marvel ones are around that 200 mil, aren't they? I'm gonna say 225.
Ooh.
okay. And P.
Oh, I don't know. God, you know they had to back the truck up and empty out a bunch of dollar bills on the Hugh Jackman's lawn to get him into this movie. So plus all the cameos. Ooh, I'm gonna go 190.
Okay. 200 Dead. Classic
That's some
Marvel
bullshit.
money.
That's some bullshit right there. Listen to the guy.
Man.
The guy's basically,
Man.
I've said a number, and then he started talking about backing it up, all the cameos,
Oh,
or
yeah.
how expensive it
Yeah.
is, and then gone less than me, and gone less than the 200, which isn't even big for movies these days. Listen, the guy. To those of you who join us on YouTube for the first time, right? We do this every
This
week. We
is-
try and guess the budget, but it's not really a guessing game with MP because he's already looked. I'm
Ah.
telling you, he has looked
Ah.
every week. It is a disgrace.
This
It's a
is
disgrace.
I just come on here every week and I have my character bash. It's insolent and churlish. I don't know how much more I can take of this. I can't help it that I'm just far superior at this than you are. Just
It's
deal with it,
disgrace.
man.
Who says 190 for a Marvel film of this caliber? Who says that?
$190 million.
This
That's
guy
a lot of
has
money. I
looked
know
that
it's not
shit up.
Small
big
change.
for
Small change.
us.
Small change.
He has looked that shit up. Unbelievable.
Let's see if
Never,
he's looked up the box office.
Wait, hold on, Hatch. I gotta get my phone. I always forget this one.
Okay, box office one. Yeah. What do you think?
Um,
And we are recording this sort of late Sunday. So, and this came out on Thursday in the UK anyway.
I'm gonna say,
Are we doing worldwide?
opening weekend,
Worldwide.
Worldwide. Do they have like the whole weekend yet? Is it in as the like what it's
Yeah.
taking for the weekend, or it is?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 250.
Okay.
Oh shit! This is gonna be a big movie too. Oh man. I'll go 210.
Boys, the worldwide box office after the opening weekend is 400.
Holy shit!
Oh,
8.3 million. So even if it doubled
that is
its
monstrous.
thing on marketing and stuff, it's still gonna.
It's
that's the opening
still
weekend. So
right there. Oh my god! That thing's massive.
It should be. It's gonna win some money back. There you
That's
go.
It's in, what? It's in profit. If it was one night, what would you say it was 200?
200.
So it's in profit already,
Yeah,
even if it
exactly.
doubled.
Yeah, exactly. So
Lol.
that's off the opening weekend. So
That's
who was closest? Who was closest
that
that time?
I'm gonna
closest?
say Deej was on that one.
That's that's the
Yeah. Well,
That's the norm.
when you are the Muad'Dij, the Mahdi of the Pod Nation,
Muad'Dij.
you can only be cheated for so long before the truth comes out.
Truth
That's
will
it.
out. Truth will always
Yeah.
out.
The Muad'Dij shall
all right.
speak
Well,
the truth.
as it's the first thing, I will put a little spoiler warning out. This is a full-on spoiler-filled review. So if you don't want to hear about it, this is your first time watching us, then fuck off. But the plot.
And despite what you may hear, we are not shills for Marvel.
Well, not all of us. All right,
Yet.
so we pick up with Wade Wilson and Deadpool himself, who's traveled to the sacred timeline to try and join the Avengers, but no dice. He goes back to Earth 1005, no 0005, and hangs up the mask of Deadpool. But has broken up with Vanessa, his girlfriend, and now works as a part-time car salesman, somehow unsuccessfully. During a birthday party where his closest, nearest, and dearest are there, he's taken by the amazing TVA, who bring him to Mr. Paradox, who essentially say, we'll put you on Earth 616 with the Avengers. However, your timeline is going to fucking die because it's lost Logan, who obviously died in Logan itself. Deadpool then steals the temp pad to travel across the multiverse to find Logan to try and save his own timeline. He encounters a load of Logan variants, of which we will explore because I was very excited to see a certain one. And then he finds one who's basically the worst one because he wasn't there to help fight. After a big old fight, they're both pruned and sent to the void, where they come across a load of other cameo characters, which we'll get into. And then they come up with Cassandra Nova, the twin of Charles Xavier. They have a lot more of a fight here. Logan and Wade also have a bit more of a fight and meet some more cameo people before trying to take on Cassandra. And then they manage to fight their way back to Paradox, who's basically trying to time rip all the non-pruned timelines. They managed to defeat him, defeat Cassandra, all the other Deadpools.
That Oscar music, boy.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Yeah, the TVA is fine and they live happily ever after.
Oh, God. Do you know what? I thought to myself, maybe all those years ago where you said, do you reckon we should bother doing a plot thing? I wish I could have one of those time devices to go back in time and say, shoot myself in the head and say, and take my own place and say, no, you know what, Hatch, let's not have the plot review, the straight plot, the summary, because, good grief above.
I did say this. I did
We're
say
on
this
a fine start for you.
many moons ago. Many moons ago.
Can we
There's
just?
a lot going on.
I think I should take over the plot summaries. You know,
Your plot
because
summaries aren't even plot summaries.
my plot summaries are dreadful and short, but they are short and they're
But they
entertaining.
are short. That's the key word.
I don't think yours bring much to the table.
I think they do because they're entertaining, they're full of energy. Whereas yours are just, I can tell you don't want to be doing it because you ever since
I don't want to do them.
Bond
I don't want to do them.
Yeah, I know.
I
You know, I can tell. The same way as you don't like washing, you don't like doing these plot summaries.
What strange criticism that was. So that was the plot, though. So Deej, you prick. What was your assessment? What was your rating?
Right. Here we go.
And also, just before you do carry on, I give you full permission to shill away. All right.
Yeah.
It's
Will Shill was.
YouTube.
Shill. Listen. Shill. You might hear some fucking shit from these other two, right? Probably from the guy you just heard do the plot summary. But listen, you don't need to listen to them. Right? And if it's anything negative, you don't need to listen to them because, right, between you and me, we understand, don't we?
Oh, get on with it. You're going on. You just had a moment of me going on. Jesus. Get on with your
We understand what it is that we're watching, right? Because we understand, right, that there are certain times when you get what you've always wanted. And this is it. This is one of those times. Right? Finally, Wolverine and Deadpool together. Now, listen, this is a film that let me say the negatives first, right? Plot-wise, there's no jeopardy to what's going on here. Like despite the fact she's trying to destroy all the universes, that's obviously not going to happen. And there is nothing happens in this film that's going to like change the wider MCU, right? Not really. But I mean, fuck me, yeah. You cannot tell me that this film is just not the most fun thing you've ever seen. Like, it just is. There's so much to just fucking nerdgasm over in this fucking film, man. Just like rivers of fucking nerdy jizz just everywhere. Fucking unbelievable stuff. Like, I'm not being funny. The cameos, yeah, just like, yes, just keep doing it. Just keep putting it in me, Disney. Just keep fucking doing it. I'm just spread wide, legs open, just frothing at the mangina, at the fucking unbelievable amount of these fucking cameos, and then all the different Wolverines. Are you joking me? Like the one where he's on the big X, literally one of the most iconic X-Men covers of all time. Seeing it on live screen, just god, just keep flicking that bean, keep going. Hulk and Wolverine in that, it gave me it's salivate. Imagine, made me think if they just made that film. Oh god, it just kept going and going and going. It was tantric. And then you've got Deadpool, be it Ryan Reynolds, right? He should really make nothing else other than Deadpool because he plays the same character in every film, right? But Deadpool is the one film where his character just works perfectly. He is Deadpool. He's made to be Deadpool. So perfect. Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. When I hear these fucking comic nerds who are like, but he's not short enough, and whatnot, and I'm just like, just shut up, will you? Just shut up. Why don't your parents? Their parents had thrown them off bridges, birth, like they threatened to Ephialtes in the 300. Like, do you know what I mean? I bet they've got like clawed little hands, and they're sitting in their room like fucking eating cockroaches and beetles. He's not short enough. Like, shut up. Don't care. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. He embodies Wolverine. Fucking so good to see him back. The fight scenes between Wolverine and Deadpool, amazing. Just so much fun. A complete nonsense for a lot of it, and the plot was super thin, but just so much fun. If you didn't enjoy this film, I just think I don't know what kind of person are you? What kind of malformed creature are you that you don't enjoy this film? So just know that vitriol will be coming your way if you don't give this film a good rating. So I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna start on a solid 8. I will start on a solid 8.
Only an 8 after such a gutting
I was waiting
love
for the 10.
letter.
I was waiting for it.
Speaking of decrepit creatures, MP, you're up.
Here I am. Dang, I'm going to follow that quote-unquote review. Was that even a review? I don't even know. I heard a lot of spooging in the background. Let's see. Going into this one, I don't know. Man, I'm struggling with this one bad. I know I'm going to get a lot of heat on this episode. I usually don't listen to other reviews before we record this because I don't want to be tainted or anything. But I saw just from scrolling through whatever social media, you get a lot of positive stuff. And I'm like, okay, did I see the same movie? And I listened to a couple of them, and there was one that kind of sounded like my colleague right there, where it was just, well, what I can't remember what he said. Something about if you disregard the story, the script, and the direction, this is a great movie. I'm like, what? That's the whole point of a fucking movie. I walked out of this thing with a headache. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't wait around for any post-credit shit. I just got the hell out of here. My head was killing me. Yeah, the villains, holy shit, they were, I mean, generic British villains, which I'm used to dealing with once a week, but goddamn, I had to sit in the movie theater and watch the whole thing with them in it. I don't know what any of their motivations were. I don't know the TVA guy. I know that was with Loki. I only watched a couple episodes of that show before I turned it off, so I didn't like that. I got why they were doing it. I just didn't understand what that dude's whole purpose was. I can't remember her name, the main villain. I like the way she
Sandra.
kind of, the way she put her hands in people's heads, especially at the end with that one dude, and she's carrying on. That was really cool. But her whole motivation, I was just like, why? Why does she want what? I don't know what she wants, basically. And I can hear Deej. That's not what we're here for. Yes, the Deadpool Wolverine stuff was great. And that's why I'm struggling with this movie. I got this real love-hate relationship with this movie because I think I'm kind of finally reaching an end with Ryan Reynolds. So I was like, by the end, I was like, just shut the fuck up. And I understand that's what his character is, but I was just like, please, just shut up. I can't take anymore. My head's killing me. Hugh Jackman saves this movie for me. He's been great as Wolverine from day one to now. Even in the not so great movies, he's always excellent as Logan Wolverine. I'm not going to be so cynical to say that when he put that mask on, I wasn't like jumping up and down. I was excited to see that. All their fight stuffs. The cameos were fun, even though most of it was just key jangling. As you heard from Deej, where it's, oh, look at this person, look at this person. I will say, seeing Blade, that was pretty badass because I do love Blade, especially when he made that joke about him being the only Blade. I was like, yeah, hell yeah. But a lot of it got to where it was just, that's what it was. It felt a lot like that movie, was it The Flash? Just felt like a better version of The Flash from last year. Like, because I enjoyed the parts of it. I guess maybe part of it is I'm just tired of the multiverse and how they could just pull people back and forth. I guess we'll get into it later, but I think it kind of hurts the movie Logan for me a little bit. But you know, overall I had fun with it. I just think it went on too long. And at the end, I was just tired and there was so much exposition. And I was just like, fucking get me out of this movie theater. And I'm going to go, I'm going to go 6.5.
All right. Do you know what? This film for me is literally the tale of two movies. Because on the one hand, despite my cynicism, sometimes I feel a heartbeat inside me, and that heartbeat loves callbacks, cameos, and believe it or not, fun. I'm not just about like plot. I love plot. I love background. I love things being, clear and not necessarily clear, but like well explained at least, or shown. And this film has very little of that, but Ryan Reynolds with Hugh Jackman, it was great seeing it. This film has loads and loads of weaknesses which do detract from it. But I got the twinges when Blade came out, when Electra came out. It was like a love letter to those like 2000s films that never quite made it or weren't that great. And even this is like a callback stuff. Some of the X-Men things, they're seriously dated now, aren't they? And it was almost like they are the main things. We need to do those. Everything else is secondary. The plot, the story, the villains, everything else is just going to be, fuck it, what's kind of going on in the Marvel universe at the moment. As soon as I saw the TVA early on, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I didn't understand half of what was going on there. I still don't, and I've read up on it, and I've obviously just done a terrible plot summary. I still don't understand. I gave up on Loki season 2 because I was like, this is so fucking boring, and I just don't care. So they should have fucked that off, but they can't not do it if you're going to interject like multiverse stuff. But I had a really good time. I had a really good time with it. I do think some of the jokes went on for too long. My main one, or just an example, is that fucking dog. Like, I think that's the kind of thing that'll age really poorly, because in 10 years' time, it'll be like, was that some sort of semi-famous dog? Like, what's the point of that dog? You know, some like the almost like meme type stuff will age poorly. Didn't care for all the Deadpools. Again, I'm not a huge comic book fan. Even I got some of the references, like Hulk vs Wolverine and stuff, but you know, then some of the cameos I did fucking love. So I had a real good time with it, but it really does let itself down with the story and stuff. And I found myself in the midway through a little bit bored at times, and I was like, all right, come on, speed up now, either dangle something else in my face or get the plot going. So I did really enjoy it, but it does have a lot of flaws as well. And I've said this a few times, but this is one of them films where if you are into your Marvel stuff and you're into comics and everything else, and you loved all those things, you will love it. And I fully understand why. But equally, if you watch this and you're like, well, I'm not a big fan of superhero films, I don't really get all the cameo stuff and the plot shit, so poor. I kind of agree. So I'm almost in between. I wanted to say a 7.5, but I'm going to go with a 7.25 initially. And I don't give quarter marks. I don't give quarter marks often. So that tells you how much of a dilemma is
yes.
7.25
in my loins.
MP.
Deej.
Are you sure you don't want to rethink that? You sure you don't want to
well, you have the rest of the episode to convince me.
Are you sure you wish to turn your face against the Mahdi of the Pod Nation in such a way?
I have prayed all weekend to the Muad'Dij to give me inspiration, and he told me to follow my heart, so I had to follow my heart. Let's see if I can get the Muad'Dij to take a step back.
Let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you something, right? Logan is a better film than this, obviously.
Oh, superior.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that, right? There's no doubt. But this film is just we people have complained about the kind of the comic book films and just been like, oh god, there's just more mare after mare after mare, right? One thing this film is not is mare. It might give you too much of shit, and it might not make sense at times in terms of, or like it might be a bit like I said, there's no real jeopardy in the plot. There's nothing that really. I was hoping it would move things forward a bit more and kind of become more part of the wider universe and things. And there's loads of bits that I will get into that don't make sense, but there is so much going on in this film to just geek out on and nerd about and just be like, fuck me, that was cool. Sometimes it's enough for a movie just to be fucking so cool and so entertaining, right? That you can just let go of the fucking. It's a comic book film, right? So realistically, like. Like we've been spoiled with things like Endgame and stuff, where it's like they managed to blend the whole kind of like storyline drama and the entertaining. But it is still a comic book film, and this was just like watching a comic on screen, and I'm just like, that is what you want to fucking see. That is what I want to see. Give me more of it. Give me more. Give me a 3 hours director's cut with 1,000 more cameos in it. I want to see I want to see you guys.
Oh no, dear God, no more cameos, please.
I did love the cameos. I do also think as well. I've seen some reviews where they're like, "Oh, it's the best thing Marvel's put out in a while." Yeah, but that's not a positive. Okay, you can't have some little kid act like an absolute little prick. And then because he washes up one plate, you're like, he's actually a really good kid. No. Like he just did one little tiny nice thing. And that's Marvel here, right? This is a good thing. Use it as a fucking stepping stone. This isn't, they've put some stuff shit out and then they've done this one good thing. Okay, now you set the level. That's the minimum then. I don't agree that we got spoiled with things like Endgame and stuff. They did really well, but then it's basic storytelling and it's patience and it's build up and doing all that kind of stuff. Not this stupid fucking stuff they've been doing recently, where all your heroes are now like, oh yeah, let's make Loki a joke. Let's make Thor a joke. Let's make Hulk a fucking weak person against She-Hulk or whatever. Like it just. They just need to. They need to really. I'm so surprised that they had this green lit. Like some of the little in jokes that were directed towards Marvel itself. I mean, they didn't. They did pull their punches.
Yeah.
They did pull their punches. They didn't go
bit.
real deep dive, in terms of all the messaging and stuff. But they did take more of the piss out of themselves than I thought they might have done recently. But again, like let's not say like, oh yeah, no, this is so good because all that stuff's been shit. No, it's a good film on its own. Now you need to step
Phase 5 has been
catastrophe.
the weakest phase of Marvel by far. Partly because this whole multiverse thing has just become the multiverse thing has been so convoluted and confusing.
Yes.
And B, nothing's really happened yet. Like we still have no kind of like unifying kind of like direction, which thank God they've dealt with now. Because I don't know if you saw, but at Comic-Con this week they revealed that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back and he's playing Doctor Doom, and they're getting rid of the Avengers Kang Dynasty, and they've replaced it with Avengers Doomsday, which is then going to lead into Secret Wars. So just bash your dicks again, boys. It's so fucking good.
The desperation from Marvel. Robert Downey Jr., please come back, please.
Fucking love it. Yeah, but I mean, listen, I'm not going to get into it, but in the comics, as you like to say, but the fact that, it has been a fucking poor phase. I mean, this is, believe it or not, the only Marvel film of 2024. And it's still going to, and it is going to be the only film of 2024.
But then I think, does that not show you that actually less is more? Forget your stupid shit TV shows that no one's watching anymore.
Right.
Concentrate on doing stuff good. Have a well thought out plot across everything. You can have your individual stories and your small villains and stuff that get taken out in one film, don't really upset the natural order. But you need to have this thing. You can't just be like, oh yeah, we've brought in, like what they did with the Star Wars, where it's like, oh yeah, you can direct a film, you direct a film, and you like.
Now you need a unifying vision. That's why the MCU is successful. And which in fairness, they did have that, and then Jonathan Majors gets. Started to like Rihanna, started Chris Brown, everyone, and he's out the window. So, but
what I will say about this one is that actually this film is basically on its own, and I think they were quite keen to basically keep this contained. It doesn't really.
It's strange, isn't it? They kind of like they blend it, but then they also keep it self-contained. This is the one thing I was hoping that it was going to maybe move forward the whole mutant agenda a little bit more into the sacred timeline.
Let's get the X-Men involved more.
Yeah, but I mean, this whole I am not a fan of this whole the way they've handled the multiverse so far, and not because I don't like multiverse stuff, because I think multiverse stuff's really cool because it gives you a chance to have all these different characters and things. But I think they fucked it with that very first season of Loki, where they were like, "Oh look, Infinity Stones, and we've got loads of these. Just use them as paperweights." It's like it made it because it's kind of like, well, then why does anything ever matter?
Right.
Why does anything ever, nothing's important. So
no character ever dies because they can just go to planet whatever and pick them back up.
And it's like, oh, when you can destroy a whole universe is literally just by pruning them, then it's like, well, then nothing matters, does it? So I'm interested to see maybe how they bring it back to a kind of a way that things matter. So we're watching films and like caring about it.
I thought they were going to do that because I thought they were going to basically. They initially did the thing where they were pruning, and you had like one timeline, and you stop the variants or whatever. But with pruning, why don't you just kill them? You want to get rid. So why are you pruning them to send them to this void thing? What's the benefit?
I don't feel like they've really
explained that at all.
No, I don't think any of it makes sense. Like none of it makes.
We're the TVA, and we have this amazing thing, and we govern the timeline, the sacred timeline. Our job's so important. Oh, nice! You guys must have some pretty decent weapons. Oh yeah, we've got this like nightstick that you need to touch someone with, and it sends them to a thing. Oh well, that must disintegrate them, kill them. Well, no, it sends them to a place. Oh, but there's no way they can get back from that place ever. Well.
Unless they have Doctor Strange's ring in their pocket. Oh, by the way, I've got this right here to send you back. Come on.
I just don't. Come on. I don't understand. I don't feel like they've ever really done a good explanation of really like explaining how all the timelines work together, what's allowed, what's not allowed. Because I keep on asking myself questions like, "Wait, hang on, are there allowed to be other timelines, or are there not?" And this and that, and then I'm like, so Ryan Reynolds, he had a time traveling device from Cable.
Right.
that allowed him to not. But that didn't
To
take
go
him
to
back in
different
time.
multiverses.
I took
Yeah,
him to
yeah,
different multiverses and shit. And I was like, huh? And then by the end, I was like, wait, if Logan is now in this universe with Deadpool, that's the universe where Logan from the film Logan would actually still be, but
Right.
younger, and
Right.
would be there. So now there'd be 2 Logans in that
Yes.
universe,
And
right?
2 X-23s.
And Logan and Deadpool knows that Logan ends with all mutants dying and blah blah. So how does that affect that? And I was just like, oh god,
It's just
all gotten a bit.
too much.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
The first 20 minutes of the film, I saw the TVA were in it, and I was like, oh no. And then when you leave the TVA, once he goes into the void and it kind of moves on a bit, then I'm on track. As soon as the TVA are back in it, I'm like, oh fucking hell.
I didn't mind the TVA because I was like, all right, this makes sense. This is how Deadpool is going to be brought in. And I was like, actually, this is going to be a really clever way of doing it, because he did do all that time traveling stuff at the end of Deadpool 2. So of course the TVA would be like, oh, you've committed all these time crimes, so we're going to come after you in the same way as we come after anyone else. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And then they're going to bring him in, and then that's how he's going to make a deal with him, and he's going to go to the sacred timeline, and that's how.
But hang
on. But then that's not what they did, because then they were like, oh no, we don't care about that you use that time travel device. And then they didn't bring him into the sacred timeline, and then he's still not part of the sacred timeline. So
is it timeline or is it time travel? Was it? They're 2 different
both,
things.
Isn't it? Well, yeah, it's both, isn't it? It's like,
yeah. Or what if I
you can
commit
move
both
across
crimes?
time and
What if I went back in time across to a different galaxy? Now I'm like, oh.
If I'm just like that, that's a perfect explanation for why I hadn't even remembered until I started watching it that he goes back in time and all of that. And I was like, oh yeah, of course, this is a really clever way to make use of that coincidence that they chose to do the time travel thing in Deadpool 2. And now I'd say the TVA want him because he's been changing timelines and stuff and making, different branches. So cool, bring him in. But then they were like, oh no, we don't really care about that. They acknowledge it by saying we don't care about it.
Right.
And then he doesn't get brought into the sacred timeline. He stays in his own timeline. And I was like, I don't know. It seems a bit of a.
It doesn't make any sense.
Really like as complicated as it is, they overcomplicated it, because I feel like it would have been simpler just to go, oh, you're in trouble for this, but actually we'll let you off if you go and do this mission for us. And for this mission, you need Wolverine, as opposed to the whole. Now all of a sudden there's anchor beings and stuff, and I was like, God, you're just introducing new bits all the fucking time. It does.
The anchor beings bit was pretty fucking weak. I thought, like, one
agreed
person, and now that whole thing's like. But then this comes in with the wider plot overall. In that the film is seriously lacking a decent sort of plot, with sort of start, middle, end, and everything. The villains are weak as shit.
Oh yeah,
the villains are the worst part of this.
Yeah.
I agree. MP.
Oh my god,
Cassandra's little hand thing, that was creepy looking. Did not look pleasant. But she's like, ah ha ha! I will destroy you all because evil.
Yeah. Well, and why couldn't she just kill Deadpool and Wolverine? I mean, she killed Chris Evans like he was nothing.
Yeah.
Why? They could, and at the end when they all blade and they all run in there shooting guns, she could just like obliterate them with her mind. So
she retreats into the Ant-Man skull.
Yeah.
The plot of this film is the weak part of it, but the rest of it around it is just so good.
Yeah, I mean, I will meet you halfway. I can't say that I'm like Hatch said, we're not total cynical people. That I didn't like all the stuff with where he was jumping from one Wolverine to the next Wolverine. He had the little short one. That one was absolutely hilarious. And then of course, was it Cavalrine?
Oh man, Cavalrine! I was so upset when he went back. I was like, no, show me more.
Well, that was good stuff. I liked it. It just got to be at a point where
imagine
it's just like,
oh my god! And he was looking good. He was looking good.
Arms are huge.
Oh yeah, my boy Henry's jacked. My boy Henry is fucking Jack Daniels, boy. Believe me. Like,
yeah, he must have been following the same program I use.
Is that right?
Sure.
No. Sorry. I mean, it's the same program, but he just lifts 5 million times the height.
It's the same program, but he actually does it.
He actually does it exactly.
Yeah. I have it printed.
Can we give credit to Hugh Jackman? I mean, dude's middle 50s.
Oh my god,
the guy was ripped. Like when he took his top off at the end, it was like Yeah, he must have said, I want to do that because I'm putting in this
Yeah.
work. I want people to
Yeah.
see, like, and fucking yeah, too right.
Yeah. I don't know what
I mean,
HGH
just
or
fucking
TRT he's using, but
man.
I'll sign up.
This is the thing about this film, man. It's like there are so like yes, look, plot be plotting is it's kind of like someone's just gone, look, I don't give a shit. Just fucking get them
Yeah.
in this film, and it's
Yeah.
not going to matter. And they're right. That's the thing about it. They're right. None of it mattered. None of it mattered to me. I was like, oh god, this is. I kept thinking afterwards, like, oh, that bit was shit, and that bit was shit. And then I was like, but did I care? And I was like, no, because
No.
Johnny Storm was in it, and Blade was in it, and Elektra
Yeah.
was in it. All these fucking people. Gambit was in it. I was like, it's finally Gambit as Channing Tatum as well, and I'm like, all these fucking people are just there, and it's fucking awesome.
I'll tell you
Sabretooth is fighting Wolverine. I'm just like, it's fucking dope.
The big difference, right? But the big difference between a film like this and then a film that also has a nonsensical plot, but like just wants to get something done, right? Is that this, despite the plot didn't have things, there was love there. Like we often say, like you can tell when there's love for characters or there's love for a film. And Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and I'd imagine Sean Levy and everybody else involved would have been like, this is gonna be sick. Okay, yeah, we do have some weaknesses, but Ryan Reynolds fucking loves playing Deadpool. Hugh Jackman loves playing Logan Wolverine, and I reckon as well. All those cameos in there, I bet so many of them were like, oh, yeah, I was gutted that opportunity never came to fruition, or yeah, I was gutted that I stopped playing Blade, or Elektra didn't kick. I genuinely the only reason that they are there is because either that was fun while it lasted, or they have some sort of regrets and just would love to go back and do that. Channing Tatum as Gambit, like again, like there must be part of them where they're like, oh, what might have been, and you can't help but love that. I think.
Yeah,
100%. But
see how positive I sounded.
I just have to disagree on the plot thing. And I think it's the problem with the movie is it's too much plot. I think one of y'all said just streamline it. If it was just like a point A to point B movie with all of that other stuff in there, I think it would have worked a hell of a lot better. But once you start adding in all this extra shit with basically two villains, and you're trying to explain all this stuff, like I said, at the end when they're turning off the time ripper machine, we have to stop and let that other guy explain everything about this while I'm leading into the end of the movie. I'm like, no, don't stop. Let's end the movie, not have another exposition scene about how to stop the goddamn machine. Just unplug it. So I think as much as I want to go, okay, yeah, I understand this is a comic book and the type of movie they're going for here. I get it. I got it all the way through it. I was just like, don't make it this bloated. Just streamline that and let me have all of that with it. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It does make sense. But of course you're wrong because because Blade and Elektra and Gambit are fighting Sabretooth and Toad and all these millions of people, while Wolverine and Deadpool are fighting Cassandra Nova, and all this shit is going on. And because that's awesome, you must be wrong. You must be wrong.
That's it. All right. There's Blade. It's awesome.
That is it. That is it.
All right.
It's kind of like it's kind of like, right? It's kind of like having like a really, really, really beautiful girlfriend who gives you just the best blowjobs in the world, but she's also a complete bitch. And people are like, just leave her, man. She's a bitch. You're like, oh, but those blowjobs,
though,
right?
Yeah. It does. They leave you standing into a courtroom going, oh no.
This film just filleted me consistently. It was a bitch to me, but then just filleted me and filleted me and filleted me. It never stopped. It never stopped. It was Cameron Diaz in that fucking that film where she's the bad teacher or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Where she's like, she gets home, she's obviously a shit girlfriend, but she's like, get your cock out because I'm gonna suck your dick. And that's what this film did to me, man. It just literally it gave me the good stuff consistently.
But having said that, it is also a little bit like what might have been, not just for those cameos and their characters, but if they had got a decent plot, and you would not have needed for this to be fucking Oscar nominee. If this had a cohesive, simple plot, right, that was as MP said, from A to B, and you just kind of cut out the shit bits, kept all the cameos and everything else, had a slightly better villain, or like at least maybe made the villain a bit more compelling, maybe even just had one of them rather than two. This film could have, I think you could have almost been like, do you know what? I think that's almost a 9 because that is what lets it down.
Yeah.
And I can't help but feel like
I think you're right. I think you are right about that, because I do think they could have just, rather than say, "Oh, this is Time Ripper" and all this stuff, they could have literally just said, imagine if they'd have like gone to get Deadpool because of the shit he did with Cable's time traveling device, took him to the TVA and pruned him, and then he found a Wolverine in the fucking in the void already, and then they managed to get a TVA thing and escape, and then the film is just the TVA chasing fucking Deadpool and Wolverine before Deadpool and Wolverine can get back to the TVA to, like, I don't know, finish the TVA or something like that.
I mean, I wouldn't have wanted the TVA to be in it anymore. I wouldn't have mind maybe they find another villain in the void who's like, you've got one of those things, I'm going to take it, and I'm now going to go and do. You could have almost still had Cassandra's plan to like take all over the stuff, but somehow got it in there. Like, yeah, I don't know. Could Deadpool have been invited into the TVA, like you said, because of all the stuff he did with the time thing, and then he like runs away, you know, the way he is. And they're like chasing him around the TVA bit, and he's like, hang on, like he when he sees himself in Thor, and he's like, wait, what's that? He could almost see like a Logan thing, or I don't know, and he's like, holy shit, like what's that about? And then boom, he goes there, gets Logan. And
I think they could have done something. I mean, it's hard to just think on the hoof, isn't it? I do think they could have come up with a better plot and also a more meaningful plot, I think, for like something that had like more meaning just beyond that film. And I know they like doing this. I saw an interview with the director, and he was saying, you know, it's a self-contained film for the most part, even though it draws on and respects the stuff that came before it. But I think it's good when things move you know, like their overall plot forward. And I think it could have had a bit more to it in that sense. But that's why, like you said, it's not a 9. That's why it's not a 9. But the stuff, it's a bit like, remember when we watched Multiverse of Madness, and I was like, that bit with Charles Xavier and Professor and Reed Richards and stuff, and Deadbolt or Black Bolt. It's so good. It's so good, right? That you know, and it didn't have as much of that in that film, so it's not like you can say that makes up for it or whatever. But that stuff is so good, and this film was just full of shit that like you just would dream of seeing, that you never thought you would see. And I was just like, it's so good. And those scenes, we haven't even touched on this yet, but the fight scenes scenes were fucking unbelievable, man. Like that one in the car with Deadpool Wolverine was fucking believable. Like, just so good. The amount of violence, the amount of R-rated shit in it, like even, and with Blade and Gambit, just every single fight scene in this film was top notch, was fucking, you know, a level above.
Yeah, I liked that Hugh Jackman was really. I maybe it was because he was in the actual suit, but man, it was like he was striking those Wolverine poses like every fight. I was like, hell yeah, I just want that movie, just him going through this multiverse, killing everybody.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but then going back to the point you made, like in Multiverse of Madness, the difference there is that they were like, oh look, dangle, here they are. Oh, by the way, we're gonna fucking fuck them right off. Like, do you know what I mean? Smartest man alive. Black Bolt can kill you with just one thing. When he's like, that's the smartest thing to do. Do you know what I mean? And you just shat on those characters. Xavier, like, who's like the most powerful. What is he? An empath or no? Yeah, whatever he does with his mind, telepath. Oh yeah, no, he gets dick straight away. Like, that's how you can. That's almost like oh my goodness. Oh. Whereas in this, it was like, oh, look at them go. You know what I mean? Like, this was how to do it. This is how to do it right. Like,
I'll agree with the little group they were with, but the whole with like the bad guys, there was a lot of them where I was like, oh, there's Azazel and Lady Deathstrike, and then they were gone. There's Toad, and then he's gone. So that kind of felt like what you were just saying with the Multiverse of Madness. It was like,
yeah, but he was
there. They are, but now they're gone.
But he was never a big thing. Like, Toad was just like some generic bad guy.
Yeah, but it was more like, oh, there they are. You see him, you like him. Okay, he's gone. Now there's another one. Okay, he's gone. Even the hero group. If you take that car ride out, they walk in a room and then they go fight, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, but you're at least giving them some respect. You're not just having
Yes,
them
I'll
go out with
agree
a
with that.
whimper. Like
I'll agree
they're
with
not
that.
put on this pedestal and then
And-
shown to just be dicked on straight
And
away. You
Wesley
know, this
Snipes'
was
Blade will always get a
yeah,
positive reaction.
and you
out
could
of it.
you could easily have disrespected them like that, and I don't
Yeah,
think they would have
I'll
come
agree
back
with
if
that. There was
they
no
had.
disrespect in that regard.
You know, you could have had like, oh yeah, he's going to be replaced soon anyway, and then like Elektra, what was that? And then like, yeah, Gambit. Like again, they poked fun at like where he's like, who is your dialect
yeah,
coach?
that was good.
Like they could poke some fun at it without absolutely like tearing up your dreams about this is what was gonna happen.
Did the Chris Evans one get y'all? Because it got me. I was waiting for him to be Captain America, and then when he was Johnny Storm, I was like, oh shit, they got me with that one.
Yeah,
and you didn't see the post credit, did you? You didn't stay with the post credit.
I didn't.
Yeah, I did. The
post credit was excellent.
That was, and this
that was
what
him
I mean,
saying
like,
the Deadpool said.
The post credit stuff. The post credit stuff. Like for one, the mid credits was like a real love letter to all those early 2000s superhero films, which I did appreciate, right? But then this is when I've complained before about post credit stuff, where like you wait for 15 minutes and it's someone who goes, I'm up next. Like, what? That was fucking it. Whereas this was like, okay, this is actually a great nod to the joke that was told earlier on. Because Deadpool was like, no, that's what he said. That's what he said. Do you know what I mean? And the audience, you're there like, oh my goodness, he's completely just like fucked him over. Like he's gonna get killed, and he's just killed him. He's like, that's what he said.
Yeah, that was good. He was really good, man. He was Chris Evans was really good in that, man. I don't know. It was just like some of these people, like these characters, were just like I hadn't seen them for so long. It was like the good thing about comics is you have all these crossovers and you see them all the time, and it's not like in real life, you've always got these shows where you're like, oh, they couldn't get this actor in, they couldn't get that, and there's blah blah blah. But in comics, you don't have any of these things because it's just someone writing what they want to write. And his film just felt like that. It felt like you could get anyone you wanted, and if you could get anyone you wanted, what would you do? And we've had it in Spider-Man No Way Home, and a few of these films now where it's all kind of you've had a kind of a dream list of crossover things, and I just loved it, man. Oh god, when I saw Blade, boys, my balls just fucking they were on the verge of just expelling everything.
But the only thing that gets
the best joke was when he's like, I am Blade, the only Blade. I was like, yeah, you are.
I genuinely agree with him. I can't see that Blade film ever getting made. 5 years it's been in production.
Scheduled for release now, isn't it? 25. But Marshall Ali, Marshall Ali's basically the fucking same age as Wesley Snipes. Like
he's not getting any younger either.
They've cast like another old man. Like, I mean, I don't know why they've done that, but I mean, he'll be a good Blade, I think. But I don't know if he's got
the only reason that they have all come in and signed on is because you have Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, absolute passionate about it, saying, look, this is the love letter to it. We want to have fun. We want to have it. And they're like, I would imagine that if Ryan Reynolds comes calling, and I would very much think that he is the one who does that calling, right? I could definitely see him being like the recruiting, calling around.
He definitely recruited
Wesley. Hey Wesley, it's Ryan Reynolds. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, listen, this is what I've got. Listen to me here. And I could genuinely, how can you not be getting on board when you hear them talking like that? And when he's like, this is what we've got in store, it's just gonna be fucking fun, laugh a minute. Like,
yeah, especially if he says Hugh Jackman's on board, he's coming back. So yeah,
that Channing Tatum Gambit, man, that has been in the talk of that for so long, man. Like, I was creasing up every time he was talking, man.
Yeah, it was fucking great, man. It was so good. He's just played it. He played it so serious as well. Like, that must have been fucking that was so good.
That whole bit, man. I'm like, again, plot wise, thin as fuck, right? But just that whole bit from the moment they got to that place and had that fight, and then even when they saw like Nice Pool and stuff, I was just like, this whole bit was fucking just excellent, man. I know you didn't like. I enjoyed that bit where he picks him up and shoots him, and he goes, "How long will it take to regenerate?" He's like, "Regenerate."
That was the funniest moment in the film for me. That's it's rare for me to laugh out loud in an actual cinema, but that one did get a chuckle from me.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good.
Oh,
and it don't make sense. Why can two of them destroy every other Deadpool, right? It don't make sense. But fuck it, man. Just so good. That's good TV, man. That's good TV. So
Yeah,
good.
when he put the mask on, yeah, he could have done anything.
Oh, when he put
smart.
that mask on.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
My God.
I was sold. Everything with Hugh Jackman, I was sold. I mean, that dude, you got to give him credit for this character. I mean, he's played this guy so long, and he's good in it. Everyone.
He just is Wolverine, isn't he?
Yeah.
Who's going to follow him? I wouldn't want to be the next Wolverine.
This is what I'm
I would be like,
talking about.
No, I'll pass.
Then when they're talking about when
I'd do it.
I've seen online some guy saying he's not short enough and stuff, and I'm just like, mate, go and just headbutt a bread knife. What are you talking about? Like, no one. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like, yes, fair enough. He's not 5'2" or 5'4", whatever Wolverine's supposed to be. But in terms of the way he is,
I wouldn't want him that. I wouldn't want him that comic book accurate.
No, Hugh Jackman just has because Hugh Jackman is Wolverine in the same way as do you know what? It's even hard to think of another person who has embodied a character that well that like he just is that character. Like, I don't know if there's
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, maybe.
I can't picture anybody but him.
I don't know because maybe. But like, I suppose he was playing a fresh
Miller
character.
Is the Flash.
Like, oh, don't
That's
ever
the
say
one.
that.
That's the one.
Don't ever say that ever again, please. He just is Wolverine, isn't he? Like, you know, if you picture Wolverine now, you don't picture a comic book character. You picture Hugh Jackman. That's the first thing that comes to mind. It's so good, so good.
And you could tell he's
so glad he came back.
He
to this.
just loves
Yeah,
it.
loves it. Yeah, loves it.
100%. You know what the thing is right? Like, I don't know. Am I gonna go up to a 7.5? I'm gonna stay on a 7.25. I don't know at the moment. But this film, I'd happily watch again. I'm not gonna go back to the cinema. I'm not gonna pay again to watch it. But as soon as this comes to like Disney Plus or something, you know, it's like, oh yeah, now available. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I've got to throw that on again.
Yeah, 100%.
That was a good.
There's so many good bits.
Fun. Yeah,
so many good bits.
I think this has got real good rewatchability for it. Provided you can disengage with the lack of plot and sense.
Even that beginning bit where he like digs up Logan's body, like that bit. I love that when he's like, you don't realize Logan's not dead. He regenerates and he gets it and he's like, fuck or whatnot, and then he's like sitting next to his fucking body and whatnot. I was just like, it's so good.
And that was straight from the off. That was like, this is irreverent. We are not kind of. There's no. They because I imagine there was like, oh, what'd you do? Logan like ended in such a good way, like such a dramatic, like emotional ending. What are we gonna do with that? And it's just like, nah, fuck it, let's dig up the body. This is the way the film's going. Fuck it. Yeah, great.
I also liked when that bit where Deadpool was basically like the whole timeline. The whole multiverse thing's been shit and no one's liked it and it's gone down like a lead balloon. They're basically just saying all of the things we've thought about. Yeah, it just wasn't working and they're just saying it. I like.
Should get him on the Just Go Watch podcast.
I think it's good that they are aware of the failings and are kind of like trying to rectify it. You know, they've moved away from.
Are they trying?
Yeah,
we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, 100%. Well, like that whole Kang Dynasty thing's out the window now, isn't it?
Yeah,
now
but not through any active planning from themselves because of.
No, they could have replaced. They could have recast, right? But they've moved in this different way to. I mean, they still need the multiverse, but I'm hoping it kind of moves in more of a multiverse exist, but not that like you've got this overriding thing that can just. I just hate the idea that you can just destroy a universe anytime you want, because then it just means like, all right, so then what jeopardy is there if one is destroyed? None, because there's just a million more like it. So
just remember, the Scarlet Witch did nothing wrong.
That's right. Well, what's the next one? Is Captain America, right? The new Captain America.
Oh, you mean Falcon?
Another tasty one. Another Captain
Falcon.
Captain Falcon.
Yeah, I don't know how he's Captain America, but.
I'll have to ask Deej because you're the expert. But is he taking the super soldier serum or not? No.
Okay. He's just a normal guy with a suit.
All right.
Pointless.
Yeah.
But I mean, Red Hulk's in it. So
so you're automatically giving it an 8 right now.
Why is Harrison Ford still acting? Why? Give it up, man. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. You must have so much money. Why?
He does want to.
I'm
He
saying
wants
this before
to.
the film's even out. I'm
He's
saying this before the
Thunderbolt
film's
Ross,
out.
and he wants to do it because God bless him, William Hurt died.
My prediction for that film. We're going off topic here now.
That's all right. No, it's still Marvel. It's still Marvel.
My prediction is that Harrison Ford sleepwalks through it, and then it's CGI bit, and he's like, "Sounds like a pretty good paycheck to me."
Yeah, that's right.
And just starts shouting, "My wife! Where is my wife?
Give me back my wife. Where's my family? Oh dear. All right. Well,
mark my words. Mark my words. Mark my words. From here on out, the MCU is back. Because we're moving now towards Doomsday. We're moving towards. Listen, in May 26, we've got Avengers Doomsday, and in May 27,
oh my God. We might not be alive in May 26.
May 27, we've got Secret Wars. Secret Wars is going to be so fucking epic. It's going to be unreal. Believe me, after we've watched Secret Wars, you're both going to be sucking at the teat of the Muad'Dij and saying, feed me with your milk of knowledge, my brother. Because
I already don't care about that movie.
Yeah, MP, you've got to do better. You've got to do better, MP.
You're going to care. I promise you. So, I won't. Right, listen, audience, listen. Stay with me now. Stay with me, right? The Mahdi of the Pod Nation is telling you nothing but the truth. You shall know him by his truthful prophecies. And the MCU is back. Believe me. Believe me.
Who are the Avengers now?
I do not believe you.
Sam Wilson,
a one-time thing that was actually this film was greenlit by the previous guy to Bob Iger, the different Bob or whatever.
Yeah,
that's the only reason this got made.
Well,
anyway,
there we are.
Anyway, I'm
I wish nothing but the bad things in life, and I wish they happened to you and only you for saying such things.
So does that mean you're staying on a night?
God, it's so enjoyable, so enjoyable. Oh, I'll probably stay at an 8 just because the best bits in it are easily a 9, but the plot part is probably does bring it down a bit, so I'll stay at an 8. But I mean, it's an 8 that I'll be happy to put an asterisk next to it and say it's actually better than an 8.
Okay.
Wait, what?
MP,
I'm still trying to figure out what he just said. Wait, there's an asterisk that says it's better than an 8.
Oh, don't get him started. Are you staying at 6.5?
Yeah, I'm still gonna stay at 6.5.
Oh, do I go up? I feel like I want to stay on a 7.25.
Whatever I was.
Do I want to go for a 7.5? I'm gonna go 7.
Surely you do. Yeah.
That's for that 0.25 is for Calverine.
For his tricep.
Make that. What a man.
All right, what does that give us?
Imagine him and what's his face? Who's the other one you love, Hatch? Is that Ryan Gosling? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if those two on screen at the same time? You'd be a mess, wouldn't you? You'd be a puddle of.
He would explode.
God damn! All right, what does that give us on the Just Go Watch
gives
scale?
Us a 7.3.
Yeah, I feel that's fair. I feel like you're almost getting a cross section there in terms of I think you will find very few people who say, no, those cameos meant nothing to me and that was shit. I'm also really glad I didn't watch any trailers. I didn't watch anything about this film, and I avoided any kind of thing because every time a cameo hit me, I was allowed to have my erection in peace.
I want to meet the man. I want to meet the man that says these cameos didn't mean nothing to him, boy. I want to meet that man.
Yeah, that's a sad man. Martin Scorsese.
Yes.
This ain't cinema. This ain't cinema. Just fuck yourself. Fuck yourself, you boring film. Go make another 4-hour piece of garbage. And you little fucking hobbit. No, I take that back. He's a great man.
He's a great man.
What do you think?
He's a great man.
What do you think of the Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't know. Audience score 95. Critic score 79.
Okay.
Do you want me to start audience or critics?
Oh, you do whatever one comes to you first.
I'll follow the Muad'Dij there. Audience is going to be high. I'll go 97% on audience, and critics, I'll put them at 85%.
All right, so between the two of you, you have got them both dead on. So one
This
of
is a
you,
first. This is a first for the Just Go Watch.
So
podcast.
Deej got
What?
between the two of you, you've got it
Yeah,
dead
tell
on.
us. Tell us
So-
immediately.
Deej, you were correct, 79% for critics, and
79.
You were correct, 97 for audience.
Look at there.
97.
Look at there.
What did you say for the critics?
I said 85, I think.
Oh, he's trying to work out who's closer.
Yeah, so overall, you'd have to say.
I
knew exactly.
There's
And
therefore, oh my God.
Listen, Al Gaib,
Hey.
listen, and you shall know him, for he shall always be the closest with his predictions.
All right. Well,
Keeps
listen,
changing the
that was,
algorithm on me.
That was Deadpool and Wolverine. 7.3 from the Just Go Watch, debuting on the Shoe Review. Solid debut.
That might be our last episode on YouTube.
Yeah, first and last before we get, I don't know, copy strike.
This was relatively tame. We didn't even mention Hatch's proclivities today.
We're holding on to that one.
Oh my
You'll learn.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, listen, if you are listening to us the first time and you are still here, follow the podcast, follow the YouTube channel, like, subscribe, all that good shit. Comment, let us know what you thought. If you hated it, love the cameos. We want it all. We want to hear it all.
Yeah. And also, if you're listening to us,
vomit your opinions on us.
If you are listening to us or watching us on YouTube and you did like it, go check out the Spotify or Apple, wherever it is you find your podcast, and listen to the old episodes, because a lot of in-jokes here, a lot of in-jokes that you may find more enjoyment on if you listen to the old stuff and check it out. We go back.
From now on, everything's coming to YouTube. I might some of our old stuff might well come up on YouTube as well. At some
We're in
point.
season 4 now.
Yeah.
Season 4, people. We're well over 100 episodes. There's some real serious fucking reviews that you.
And those first 3 seasons, they were the real. That was with a real.
that was practice for the real professional season.
Yeah. You can probably ignore the first season and the audio quality of that one. And I should say while we're here, R.I.P. to Julesy. I don't want to like an episode going by about him. Who
people are going to actually think he's dead.
He is dead. He unfortunately died when he took the keys off of his keyboard when he got bored one day and swallowed them all and choked to death. So let that be a warning.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. You can also find us on
another
Twitter and Instagram at Just Go Watch Pod.
Yes. Follow it all. But listen, that is pretty much it from us. Now, there's only one way you were going to know what you thought of Deadpool and Wolverine, and that is
just go watch. Just go watch. Just go watch.